kind of extracurricular activities did the school system have? Do you remember?
Well, I don't remember anything extra when we were in grade school, but by high school, there was lots of stuff. We had a drama club, and we had an orchestra that was part of high school. You know, it was a class. We had sports of all sorts, and a radio club, debating club. Some kids were in things like all-state orchestra. I did some of that, and honor society. I don't know, numerous clubs.
Which ones were you a part of?
I was in the drama club. That was my major extracurricular activity.
And what all did you do in drama club? What kind of plays did you put on? Did you do any of that?
Yeah, we put on a couple of plays every year. Mrs. McThing, Harvey. I don't remember what they were all called, but my brother Tom was in a lot of them. I was in a lot of them, and quite a big club, actually. I guess we had probably 30 kids or 40 kids. Mr. Ramsey was our favorite teacher. He was the person who was in charge of the drama club.
What did you like about him?
Well, he was so enthusiastic about what he was doing, and he really loved each individual kid, you know, knew all about us, and he'd come to our houses for dinner and do special things like that, and had us come down on weekends and make sets, and he had always been involved in the theater, I guess, so he was wonderful at explaining and showing us how things could be done. It was just exciting, you know. He was also an English teacher in the high school. And he had a big family. His wife was so pretty, and all of us wanted to be like her. She taught us how to walk in high heels and do things like that nobody else had ever thought to show us.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Is there any other particular experiences that you remember about drama club? Anything that really sticks out to you? Like, what was the most memorable performance you guys did?
I don't think the performances were as memorable as some of the other stuff. I guess my strongest memory there is how one morning we were down in the auditorium doing something, getting ready for a play, and if you've been in the back of an auditorium behind the stage, there are all kinds of ropes and weights that hold curtains and things. That have big lead weights about close to the size of a cinder block. And somehow one of those fell off where it was supposed to be, up on a rope somewhere, and it landed on the hand of one of the kids. And we could hardly get it off him, you know. The kid was screaming, and it was a horrible thing. He had to go to the hospital. His hand was just crushed.
Wow. Oh boy. Oh, that's pretty insane.
It's not very specific to Los Alamos, is it? I mean,
no.
Things
that's
that you
great.
remember.
That's really great. That's exactly what we're shooting for.
Okay.
Those little memories. Let's see. Chris, is there anything else?
No, I don't think so.
One of my other memories there was that I had a part in a play, and I ended up getting strep throat right before the play was supposed to go on. So I didn't want to pass up my part in the play, and somehow there was a nurse who came to the auditorium with my shots. I was supposed to get some kind of antibiotic shots, and I remember going into the dressing room with her, and I had to pull up my skirt, and she gave me a big shot in the butt right before the play started.
But I take it the play went over okay then?
Oh, the play must go on, you know.
The show must go on.
That's right.
Wow. Were you in any other clubs besides drama? No.
Well, I tried some sports. I was never any good at it. I was in the radio club. I guess none of the other ones made that much impression on me. I had a big long list of activities, when I got out of there, but drama club was the most important.
Of course. Okay, so I have one more question for you. It's a question I like to ask towards the end of these interviews. So since this video and all the other ones that we've done are going into the archives, imagine someone watching this video or these videos 50 years from now or 100 years from now. What's one thing you want them to take away from life in Los Alamos? What's one thing you want them to really get?
I guess it would be assuming that in 50 or 100 years from now, people are still arguing about whether the atom bomb should have been used. I think probably the right thing was done, but it's hard to put yourself back in that situation. It's like a football game. When it's over and you know who won, you just can't imagine why you really were so excited about the Patriots or the Broncos or whatever. Well, at that point, nobody had won the war. It was up for grabs. And the atmosphere was that it was a desperate situation. If our society was going to continue to exist, we had to win the war, but we weren't sure we could. And I think that, all these people who are saying, rah, rah, we should never have done that, maybe haven't thought about what the consequences would have been and what the situation was that we were in. After that, for the Second World War was done, the hydrogen bomb got developed. Fortunately, it hasn't been used. But my father, and I think probably a lot of his colleagues, were very, very committed to seeing that it never, ever would happen again.
So, what do you personally feel about the work that they did? In your view, I get that you think it was completely necessary, right?
Well, we weren't the only people trying to do it. It was going to happen in the U.S. or in Europe, So I think it's lucky we got there first. And that was another thing, that nobody was sure about. There were spies. I remember that one of our babysitters was Klaus Fuchs, a big spy. He took care of me when I was a little kid. And he was charming. He was a very, very sociable, pleasant man, as far as anybody could tell.
And how did you find out that he is a spy? Where did you see that?
I remember the headline in the New Mexican. Big black letters, the kind of disaster headline that's not that tall, that they had caught the spy, and it turned out to be, our, we thought, friend.
So what went through your head when you first found out that he was a spy?
Well, I certainly wasn't the first to know about that, It was publicly announced, but I just remember feeling very amazed and realized that you can't tell everything about people that you think you know.
Right. All right. Well, I think that about